I don't know the direct conversation that's happening here. I don't pre-watch these videos. So I'm going to go with just Democrats bad. We'll just start from that baseline and build from there. That's the root of this shit right here. There you go. This is Jimmy Dore. Apartment complexes replacing burned LA homes. Okay, never mind the fact that assholes like this were clamoring about how we don't have affordable housing and there's not enough housing and there's never enough housing and there aren't enough housing and there's not enough housing. But let's see what the take on this shit is. Okay.
Hey, come see us on Cohoes, New York.
Don't care.
So they are trying to turn Altadena into a gigantic apartment complex.
According to Kevin Dalton, the Kevin Dalton at kevindalton.org, that's his opinion. As we start rebuilding, starting to relax some of the zoning laws, especially in a more working class neighborhood like Altadena, so that rather than putting up single family residences, we could allow developers to build duplexes and apartments. Oh, okay. Yeah, you mean where there's more available and where people want to sell their homes and they don't have the money to rebuild, so they'd rather sell to a developer and move, and it's fucking Altadena.
So I know Altadena. I lived right down the street from Altadena for a decade. I lived in Pasadena.
Oh, the nice area. I see. So the working class area, that's not where Jimmy lived. Jimmy lived in Pasadena, where it's really fucking expensive. Weird.
And Altadena,
I guess that TYT money was the thing, right? Shit.
was a beautiful neighborhood.
Yeah, the was part is a big element here.
In fact, we would drive through it just to take a look at how beautiful it was.
Really? Really? You lived in Pasadena, but you would drive through Altadena just to see how beautiful it was, especially the areas closest to the freeway. Yeah. Which is, by the way, what they're talking about.
Because it was such a nice neighborhood. It really was. The houses were beautiful. The foliage, the lawns, the
foliage, or foliage, whatever.
Whole deal. And the streets, they weren't straight. They all were windy, and they had hills.
Yeah, the kind of roads that make it really difficult for a fire truck. That doesn't, as you say it, as that falls out of your fucking face, it doesn't occur to you that might have been part of the problem why the fire spread in the areas that it spread. Okay.
It was one of the most beautiful communities I've ever been in, Altadena. It was beautiful. And it wasn't.
Oh, by the way, Jimmy lives in a multi-million-dollar home in the Hollywood Hills, just so you know. Yeah. He's what we call a Marxist millionaire. Capitalism sucks, especially when, after you've already gotten inside the lifeboat and you've battened the hatches and pulled the ladder up.
Altadena, just to get to Altadena. The good Dina.
And it wasn't
He doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about. He's trying to make I used to Pasadena to get to Altadena. Look at Kurt's face. He's sad he made that joke too. Okay, we're even.
It wasn't rich. It was just a nice neighborhood.
Well, get it out of here. We got Smart Fire 2028.
So guess what they're doing now?
Also, they don't have to get it out of there. It burned up. And it's not the whole thing. It's just the areas that burned.
Well, they're going to start relaxing the regulations. Well, here, let's listen.
But the most interesting element of my conversation with Mr. Giacoletti was when he talked about the possibility of, as we start rebuilding.
Hold on. I got to look up something. Giacoletti. Mr. Giacoletti. Los Angeles. I don't know. Westland, Joseph Scott. Nope. Chocolate. Nope. I have no idea who he's talking about. Mr. Handyman, joined by Newsom in Los Angeles. Nope. Okay, Mr. Giacoletti, we'll find him out. He's a mystery.
Starting to relax some of the zoning laws, especially in a more working class neighborhood like Altadena, so that rather than putting up single family residences, especially on parcels where people might not have the wherewithal to rebuild at all, we allow.
Well, that's a lot of caveats, wouldn't you say? People don't have the wherewithal to rebuild at all. And so we'll put up apartment complexes on those pieces of land and develop them so that we have more affordable housing. Seems oddly logical. Don't worry. Jimmy will turn it into a conspiracy, BlackRock something, Newsom's fault.
Developers to start putting up duplexes and apartments. In other words, increasing density, but also increasing more housing.
So,
yeah, density and housing would be kind of the same thing. Increasing density and increasing housing. You wouldn't increase the housing. You would just go back to the same number that was there if you didn't build more. And they're not building luxury condos. They're building apartment buildings. They're going to build big apartment buildings on those areas. They're close to the fucking freeway. Hold on. Let me show you guys something. So that Jimmy thinks that like the people up in the fucking hills are going to lose their mega mansions on the edge of Altadena. Hold on. Let's see. I'll just do a map of it. So here we go. So here's Altadena. This is where the fires were. This was north of. Get out of here. So, so here's, get out of here. Scoot over this way. What are you doing? So here's Pasadena. Here's Altadena. Now, this whole area here. Let's see if do they show Altadena? Is this? Yeah. Okay. So this is the officially Altadena along this area right here. Okay. This is all Pasadena. Okay. They're not talking about this down here. They're talking about the stuff along here and over here by the freeway where this jump part happened, where the fire jumped over here, near Spartan Stadium and all that stuff. The rest of this is there's almost no material difference beyond the working class aspect of however they want to do it. Up here where it gets really fucking hot versus over here. Let's see if I can bring up where the actual, Altadena fire area. So I could show you. Yeah, the Eaton fire, that's, okay, let's see. I need a map of it. Yeah, here you go. Eaton fire damage map. Super. Get out of here. Show me the map. It's thinking. There we go. Yeah, here you go. So, if you'll notice, in the Eaton area, the fire all happened up in the top over here, where this jump happened and this fire area happened. They're not talking about all the working class houses along here. They're all fine. It's all along this edge here. The only place they're really going to ease anything, or they could, is this area right here, which is large swaths of flat land and houses. Like, there's some horse farms up in this way, but it's super fucking hot. It's super dry. It's super hot. And the one thing you could do, let's see if we scan in on this. Yeah, here we go. Yeah. Past Woodbury, there's the park. Right, get back up in here. Maybe a little bit out, just a touch. So, and by the way, it didn't just magically stop here. Hold on, I don't know why this barrier is here for Altadena, because it burns stuff over here too. But this is the Altadena Eaton fire damage, so they just named it that. There you go. But this is the primary area, is what they're talking about. And most of the area, the schools are gone, the stores are gone. Even if people wanted to rebuild, there's not going to be any family services. There's not going to be anything, in this area for quite some time. So to get that back to there as fast as possible, one of the things you're going to do is put apartment buildings in. The irony is that it's not going to move over here. There you go. It's going to have zero impact on these areas here. Like, they're not flattening fucking Altadena and turning it into a fucking giant apartment complex. This is all gone. Again, big stretches of dirt land between houses and that kind of stuff. He didn't go up in that part of Altadena. Again, there's no fucking way. Maybe, just maybe. Hold on, what the fuck? Get out of here. I hate when Windows, why do you do that? Where you close everything, like when you focus on one window? I hate that. Anyways, so this is all edge fires throughout here, okay? What Jimmy means when he says he drove through the nice neighborhood, he meant up into this area where the fancy houses are. He didn't go up there, he didn't hang out in the fucking, this area. He didn't, because there's no difference between this area and this area. Jesus. It's so stupid. It's making me want to vomit and being sick. Hold on. I'll open up my window again, which is where? There we go. Firefox. Open back up. Get back up there. There you go.
By the way, is that guy's hair made out of yarn? Anyway,
I was going to ask the same question.
It looks like his hair is made out of yarn. I've never seen someone with that thick of hair, but he does. But anyway, getting back to the point. So Altadena, so now they're relaxing zoning so they can put up apartment buildings in one of the most beautiful single-family residential neighborhoods I've ever seen in the world.
Yeah, Altadena, more like Gaza.
Okay, more like Gazadena. Get the fuck out of here. Secondly, no. Pasadena is far prettier than big chunks of Altadena. Jesus Christ, what are you talking about? And it's gone.
They're going to relax the zoning laws. It's cool. But
Altadena, the working class area of Altadena up near the Antelope Valley Ridge and all that shit the Eaton Wash and all that kind of that's basically like I probably the Jews forced people to live there.
And build whatever you want. We're chill about you turning.
Oh fuck! He's reading off one of Kurt's jokes right now. Look at him. Look at him. Look at it. He's moved into. Let's bring this up, and then I've got a joke written on my piece of paper right in front of me. I'll get to that eventually. Dude, you're a multi-millionaire. You can't afford a fucking teleprompter to just throw the jokes into? For real. Just get a fucking scroll.
This quiet farming town into a cold East Ward.
Quiet farming town? What?
Germany.
Yeah, please do brutalism. That's my favorite. Wait, he was saying that as no. Oh my God, he was saying that he's not.
Okay. So they're making a joke about they're going to replace it with like Stalinist like blocks of apartments, the brutalism of the Soviet Union. We're going to just put people in cells and that kind of thing. Jesus.
Exposing a thing. He's saying this is a positive?
Yes.
He's saying that they can increase density.
Isn't that great?
I thought this was like a guy exposing. Oh man.
Well,
no, he's of two minds about it. It's necessary. It might be the only solution to bring people back to that area, but it feels like exploitative. That is the general feeling about it. And it'll depend on whether or not people leave willingly and developers pay for the worth of the land once they can rebuild, if the people can get insurance or any of that thing, or if a developer gets insurance over, individual houses in that area. And if the developer can extrapolate their insurance over, multiple units, does that lower the insurance costs of people who want to rebuild their house in the area, which is entirely possible.
Here, listen. Well, he does kind of say it here. Listen to this, Kurt.
Kinda.
Here he goes.
Right.
It just feels grossly opportunistic. Whether we're talking about
Yeah, right. He's like,
the developers or rezoning an area that people wanted to live in because it wasn't a high density area.
Yeah, that's why people wanted to live there, because it wasn't a high density area. It's a single family, a home community, and it was beautiful.
By the way, for those of you who don't know, this is a defense of the suburbs concept. This is the idea that we don't need to build low-cost housing in the fucking suburbs. It ruins the suburbs for everyone. All those talking points that Donald Trump was putting out about building apartments in the suburbs and all that kind of stuff, and how the Democrats are attacking the suburbs. Remember that shit? Remember all that? Okay, that's this. That's what this is.
That's why people want to live there. Now they want to build apartment buildings. Here we go. Watch.
Those fuckers.
So she's right. It feels.
And also not apartment buildings. He's talking about duplexes and townhouses. They're not talking about giant fucking apartment blocks. And that's why they're saying relax the zoning a little. Like, do you not... fuck me.
Grossly opportunistic. Yes, it does. Let's watch.
Speaking with one housing analyst earlier, and I put the question to him. I said, quite simply, is this capitalism pure and simple, or is it heartless greed? The answer, yes.
What? I don't understand what slightly.
He means both. That's the point. He's trying. Kurt, you were shitting on him, and now he's kind of agreeing with your concerns. And you don't know how to readjust your pre-existing opinion of him, I think.
The better looking Bill Gates just said.
That's because you weren't listening.
Is it first of all, that sounds redundant. Is this just capitalism or heartless greed? It sounds redundant.
Okay, fuck you. You make money as a capitalist. Jimmy doesn't give his show away for fucking free. Tickets to Jimmy's shows aren't free. Get the fuck out of here. Stop it. Stop it. If all capitalism is heartless greed, then you can't sell tickets to your shows, or you're a heartless, greedy bastard. Well, I would argue that, you probably, in your case, charge tickets for people to leave, and that would be heartless and cruel. But fuck off with this. It's like, talk about virtue signaling. The fuck are you talking about?
Well, that's why they said yes.
Yes. Yeah, it's both.
No, about that thing, stupid.
And he still seems pretty happy about it.
He does.
Does he? Sorry, it was folks. Was that the takeaway, chat room? Did you take away from it? That guy was like, yeah. The answer was yes. Awesome. Who thought that about what he said? Anybody? Chat room. Anybody look at what that fucker was saying and think like he's he's jonesing for them to turn these houses into townhouses when they rebuild them? Anybody? No? It takes a minute for the thing to catch it. Like, what the fuck? So goddamn lazy.
I mean, so someone tweeted this out. This is new Altadena. Compliments of the Democrats. Going to be great.
Oh, somebody tweeted that out? Really? So that made it a thing? Did it? It made it a real thing? Is that what it was? So that's the thing, is it? That's sorry, 1 second. I don't know why this is annoying me, but it must fix the thing. Did it go back up here? You silly thing. Go. Ooh, there you go. Goes here. There you go. These are like, I don't know, what, Poland or China or some shit like that.
What is that? The tofu buildings from China?
It looks like it.
So people criticize China, for, because there's a lot of scam buildings that are not made well that people want to flip property. But
no, that's not why. There's not a flip this house scams going on. All of it's built like shit, dummy. They're investment properties. And the only reason they have investment properties is because they're not allowed to invest in anything else.
The point they're missing when they criticize is these people have money to buy property there.
Yes.
Do you understand? Like, I would love to get...
Yeah, it's a dream come true. I've always wanted to build an apartment that I'll never get to live in. invest in an apartment that I'll never be able to live in and never be able to sell because it falls apart before its completion date, if it's ever finished. It really is a dream.
We should all have the money to be scammed in a property thing.
I always
Move there.
wanted to live in a city that looked
Oh, he was reading another joke.
like a warehouse full of shipping crates. So here's another, but they are building this. This is right. This is for real. I've seen there's some in
H2O H2O2 BLN something. Least bit is okay. Like this building, 2 more same size behind this one, 7 more like it's being built in are being built in the San Fernando Valley. A lot of low income HUD housing and housing for illegals. The difference they didn't not pay is passed on to their neighbors, making the rent more expensive, taxpayers something. Oh, so this person who's posted this, who Jimmy, I guess, follows and sucks up to, is bitching that they're building HUD housing that look like that in the neighborhood, driving their rent up and filling it with illegals who don't pay rent. That's what this person who's tweeting is bitching about, which is why Jimmy is like, look at this. I agree with this angry lady racist person.
Burbank, which is right down the street from my house. They have huge things like this, the new housing, but they'll have a Whole Foods inside of it, so everybody's okay with it.
Oh,
It's like this.
And
So this person tweets out, like this building, 2 more the same size behind this one. There's 2 more
is this the first time he's reading this?
of these right behind it. 7 more like this are being built in the San Fernando Valley. That's according to this. I know that they build them in Burbank. I've seen it.
Oh my God, no. Apartment buildings in a city with 7 million people in the greater county area? What the hell? How in the world? Who are we going to fill them with? I mean, they're just building these things to remain empty? Isn't this motherfucker, does this asshole not understand how affordable housing happens?
yeah. It looks like the airport. It probably feels great.
And there's a lot of
It looks like airport probably feels great. Looks like an airport or the movie airport. What?
low-income HUD housing and housing for illegals. The difference they do not pay is passed on to the neighbors, making their rent more expensive.
So my house.
Taxpayers show more. Like, this is a racist person bitching about illegals getting free apartments from the city or some nonsense. And he's just quoting it like fucking
Is
gospel.
going, but I could live in a duplex with illegals whose rent is paid by my taxes, and I.
Jesus Christ. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, the premier Marxist show on the internet. There is no one more progressive left, allegedly, than Jimmy Dore. He is hardcore lefty all the way. It's him, Russell Brand, Lee Camp, and I don't know, Alex Jones at this point. What the fuck does that label even mean? Dude does this show from the garage of his $1.5 million house in the Hollywood Hills, and he's bitching about them building more apartment buildings for the plebes. Jesus Christ.
Pay more of the rent than they have to. And also, they have my job because they don't want to pay me. They'd rather pay somebody.
Yeah, and hey, if you get rid of the
Sorry, Kurt. You can be replaced by an illegal who, I guess, presumably doesn't speak English well. Look, I know this, and my audience knows this, that someone where English is their second language is definitely a better writer than you. That's just automatic. But it doesn't show a lot of confidence in your ability that you fear being replaced by illegals.
construction laws, those buildings could be built even faster, and you get rid of that.
Oh my God, he's reading more jokes off the fucking paper. You know what? It's bad enough the jokes suck. It's okay if jokes don't land if you didn't do that much work on them. But there's clearly a construction process going here, and we're watching it fall apart before our very eyes. It's fucking. I'm getting a cringe cramp.
The health department, and then you don't have to worry about plumbing.
Jesus Christ. That was the punchline? I don't even know where the fucking start of that shit was. What the fuck?
Yeah, and hey, if you get rid of the, construction laws, those buildings could be built even faster, and you get rid of the health department, and then, you don't have to worry about plumbing.
Yeah, and they're easy to lock down, I bet.
So Jim.
Well, sorry. So there won't be a health department. There won't be. But this is all Trump shit, by the way. I don't know why he would think the Democrats are going to get rid of the fucking health department or building codes around them. It's the development codes. And these are already pre-existing areas, anyways, where there was a populace. So you don't have to like rezone the entire thing for living. That's why it's a slight change in the zoning laws. But the fact that this motherfucker's going with basically the root of that joke, if I'm following it, is that these buildings are full of illegals who apparently just shit out a window and don't need indoor plumbing because gross or something. Fucking hell.
Are you just hyping this? Come on, is this real? This is already happening.
So fucking what? What do you mean? It should be taller, asshole. The only reason they build them that short is because of fucking earthquakes, and the old zoning around earthquakes is not caught up to the new zoning about like modern buildings and how resilient they are. and whether you can sell it or not. Good Lord.
And this guy is saying that they're doing it right now in Altadena. They're relaxing the construction.
No, they're not. No, he's not. That's not what he said at all. He said they're thinking about it. And it might mean, and it could be, and it's possible that
they're going to put apartment buildings in garbage.
No, townhouses
in Altadena. Well, guess what I found? This is from 2021. Governor Newsom abolishes most single-family zoning in California.
SB 9 allows up to 4 units on many single-family lots. That would be townhouses. That'd be 2-story townhouses. Let me show you something. Fuck this asshole. Oh, God. Let's see. No, whoops. Sorry. I can't type. Let's see. Where would it be? Technically, like West Hollywood, maybe. I want to see images. Front of the place. The front of the place. Yeah, there you go. So, what does this one have? It's on LoopNet, so I just want to see the... Okay, so let's give you an example. On Melrose in Los Angeles, this is a single-family dwelling lot that is now turned into a 4-unit apartment or townhome setup, whatever it is legally, whether you enter, quadruplex, you like 2 enter through the front, and then there's an alley or a short street behind it, and you enter in through the back, and that's, it's just a different entry for, your main entry for the house, or there's like a mini lobby and a flight of stairs. These things are all over the fucking place in Melrose. Right. And it's one of the reasons why Melrose and West Hollywood grew exponentially compared to other neighborhoods, because they allowed for this zoning. They allowed these single family homes, when somebody sells it, to be converted into a 4-person or family unit. That's not weird at all. But what Jimmy is bitching about, hold on, let me see if I can find a boink. I don't want LoopNet, you jerk off. I want residential. And modern townhomes in West Hollywood Melrose District. Let's see what the thing. I want to see what the outside of the fucking place looks like. But, yeah, here you go. This is what they're talking about, too. Like, these kind of single, like, corner lots and stuff have, like, apartments upstairs and an Equinox downstairs. These are single unit home areas. Like, this is a single family lot right here, but they could turn it into a 3-unit. this is the Huntley Hotel, I think. They turned it into a hotel. But the idea is that you can build bigger facilities on these single-family lots. So areas in Los Angeles where they've done that, it's been very successful, and it eases the cost of living. It lowers rents because there's more available rent space. They're really nice. They're very expensive too, but don't get me wrong. There should be more of them. It would drive the price down reasonably. But a lot of these places, let's see if I can, I wanted to find like kind of the front ones of these, because this is, fucking LoopNet. I don't need you. There's a place on Willoughby. See if I can see the front of the place. Go away. I don't need to see the apartment building. I just need to see the place outside. Oh, yeah. Anyways, the point of these, oh, Jesus Christ, I don't need to open up Zillow. The point is, yes, it does make East LA cheaper. It also makes every place cheaper. There are not enough living units in Los Angeles for the number of people who live and work there. Apartments are going to be people's entry, and townhomes are going to be their growth point, and then condos and single-family residences are going to be where they anchor. That's how all home buying grows over time. If you get, if you move to stay, right? But there is a dearth of these mid-level houses, which drives all the mid-level people into the cheap housing. So you have people who can afford to pay $3,000 a month living in a fucking studio or a one-bedroom that should be for families that don't make a lot of money. It should be $1,500 for that, and there should be more units available for the mid-level people, but they aren't, and they got to be close to work, so they downscale into stuff that should be available for affordable housing for people. So you need to build more of these bigger apartment buildings for the people who are really on the edge of it, so they don't become homeless and they have a room to grow themselves. Jesus Christ.
Hey, you know that backyard you always plan for?
Fuck me, he's reading more jokes. Look at the paper in his hand. Hold on. Now I got to grab this fucking article. Hold on. Gov. Newsom abolishes single family blah. Okay. California's, let's see. California's SB 9. You can kill single-family zoning, but you can't kill the suburbs. It'll take a lot more than California's historic duplex bill to make the state affordable. On Thursday, with the stress of the recall election firmly behind him, signed a bill. So obviously it passed the fucking legislature that effectively abolishes single-family home zoning in the country's in the country's largest state. Effectively, by the way, which is probably doing a shit ton of work. Regardless of local zoning, in an effort to increase the state's anemic housing production, open up high-opportunity neighborhoods, and lower rents and home prices. God for fucking bid. What an asshole. The law raises the possibility that many single-family homes currently protected by zoning could be replaced by 2 units, or even 4. What? If the owners split their lots and build duplexes on each half. Naturally, opponents of exclusionary zoning, a practice with a racist history that has severely curtailed housing supply in many California cities, taking the state's median home price north of $800,000, were really excited about SB 9. Hey, all the people who are trying to fight racist zoning rules are like this thing. Gee, I wonder why Kurt and Jimmy don't like it. Could be that they're scared of new neighbors. Mm-hmm. We're really excited. Local officials, homeowner groups in the California Republican Party threw a fit, and Jimmy Dore, with the anti-growth group Livable California decrying a luxury housing bill that destroys your neighborhood. A liberal glaze on the end of the suburbs, fear-mongering that Donald Trump attempted to deploy against Joe Biden last year. Symbolically, the passage of SB 9 is a huge deal in the national movement to break down the apartment bans that effectively segregate American cities and shows how far policy has shifted in the past 5 years. A handful of similar jurisdictions, included in the state of Oregon and places like Minneapolis and Charlotte, have taken steps in the same direction. On the ground, however, the reality will not be instant housing abundance or the destruction of the suburbs. And by the way, the fires themselves, that's why it would work in these areas, whatever. For better or worse, zoning is a powerful obstacle to denser, more affordable development, but reforming zoning can only do so much. That was the conclusion of this July study. So it's an attempt to remedy it, but it might not remedy it all, and blah, blah, blah. Meanwhile, Newsom abolishes most single-family zoning in California, which is, again, something that in theory this fuckwad would be for if he actually gave a shit about affordable housing, for example, just as a baseline. Suck it. By the way, one of the best ways to keep rents high and keeps developers' profits high is to limit the building of more units.
Your kids to play with a dog in? Well, this place doesn't allow pets. And the kids can always sit on the patio and look across the street at other buildings.
One moment. Yes, tell me about the hell of living in a place where people live in a building and look across the street at other buildings. Who in the world can live like that? No one would ever move to such a place. Yeah, that's true. Jimmy does. I don't know. Jimmy might have a dog. He doesn't have kids, though. You can tell by his, like, total lack of give a shit. But, like, you mean like Manhattan or fucking downtown Chicago or anywhere that... Ugh.
First of all, what do you mean kids? Aren't you sterile? Did you not get your shots?
That's a anti-vax jab. No pun intended.
By signing Senate Bill 9 into law, Newsom...
By not vetoing the thing that passed that actually every Democrat in the state is for and makes total sense, where you don't have enough housing and rents are too high.
Open the door for the development of up to 4 residential units on a single-family lot across...
4 residential units. I'm going to guess that giant apartment building has more than 4 units in it. Fuck, this is dumb. Do you think he read this through?
California. The move allows a growing push by local governments to allow multi-family dwellings in more residential neighborhoods. Berkeley voted to eliminate single-family zoning by December 2022, and San Jose is set to consider the issue next month.
Yes, Berkeley, you know, that Republican enclave. I mean, they call it the new Orange County, don't they? No, they fucking don't. By the way, Bernie Sanders would be for this. He is, actually.
This is from 2021.
Jesus Christ. Yeah, we know. Back when you were probably for it before you decided to become a Trumper.
While opponents fear such sweeping change will destroy the character of residential neighborhoods, supporters hail it as a necessary way to combat the state's persistent housing crisis and correct city zoning laws that have contributed to racial segregation.
Maybe, I don't know, maybe read the article beforehand. Yeah. Yeah, you have found yourself on the side of the racist policies that segregated neighborhoods in Los Angeles for a long time, and yeah.
It's always you're a racist if you're against this.
Oh, fuck you. No, you're not a racist if you're against this. You can be against it for other reasons. You're just a racist because by default, I guess. Jesus Christ. This asshole doesn't, like, again, he didn't even read through it. He didn't even recognize this is something he and Kurt and everybody on there allegedly support.
Newsom previously had shaken up single-family zoning.
It's weird that he talks like a multimillionaire that lives in the Hollywood Hills, isn't it? Isn't that strange? That's what's weird. Of all the people, you know? It's like him and Hassan and, yeah, a good time. Oh, did we lose a troll? Did they bow out? I got to say, the trolls don't have the same resilience they used to have. And I want to thank the trolls and maggots that are here. Thank you for being here, because you spread us out into the interwebs in a way that we don't otherwise. And everybody on Rumble, thank you for watching.
By signing legislation that allowed more homeowners to build in-law units on their properties. SB 9 takes that further, allowing property owners to build up to 2 duplexes on what was once a single-family lot. Slow growth group Livable California,
which is like all of Trump's donors,
which is pushed back against SB 9, called it a radical density experiment and worried developers would...
Yeah, they're going to push these brown people right up next to me. Fuck that, saith Jimmy and Kurt.
Use it to remake neighborhoods without community input.
How's it an experiment if we know the results will be it will suck?
Right.
Yeah. I mean, this is... I mean, I would argue that this asshole still thinks he's progressive or left or something. But they're literally making the NIMBY argument against letting, people who can't afford their own house to buy a condo or rent one, rent a townhouse in their neighborhood. Fuck you.